Hello everybody! Welcome to today's video. I am going to talk about minimalism and technology. Especially I want to talk about which items I own in this category and why I own these specific things and how I handle technology in general. Since I have a YouTube channel, I do own a camera and I also do own one lens. I just upgraded my camera, so now I just only own the camera. I only own this lens. I do not own any extra batteries or anything like that, and also just one SD card. I think it's enough for me. I also own a laptop. It's a 15-inch Dell laptop. I own a phone and I own some hard drives to store footage and pictures and documents on. Now that's it, but of course I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with why and what accessories I own to these things. If you're new here, my name is Leah. I upload videos twice a week about minimalism and sustainable living. If you're interested in these topics, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. That's the perfect minimalist picture and that looks great. I'm super happy with these few things, but now I'll show you my bag with all the cords. Yeah, it's horrible. And also I have to say, I just showed you the things that I know I absolutely want to keep. I know that I'm using them, but I do also own some extra stuff. So now I want to go through these things and just show you that even though I think so much about things, it's not perfect and I do own a few things too many. And actually I'm going to take my own advice and I'm going to put these things in a box where they are gonna be for several months. And if I don't use them, I'm actually gonna get rid of them. So the first thing is this cable. Now I bought it because the one my boyfriend had broke. It's an audio cable, like an audio extension cord thing. And I used it for my YouTube videos, but now I want to have it as simple as possible. So I just mounted the microphone on top of the camera. But yeah, he uses it every week or almost every week. So I'm not gonna throw it away, but I'm going to take it out of my belongings and give it to him so he can use it. But I think I do not use it myself. Another thing that I have actually decluttered before is a Wacom drawing tablet. I used to think that digital drawing is something I really want to be good at, I really want to do, but I just never really got past that first difficult phase. And I actually have decluttered it then, and then this spring I added it again to my belongings because my boyfriend said, yeah, if you don't want it, I keep it for now. And I added it again to my belongings because I thought, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna learn this digital drawing now. But then I realized, yeah, after a week of struggling with it, it's not a part of my life now. I haven't kept it up, and so I think once again I'm gonna declutter it. Now a funny thing, I bought my camera online. It was secondhand, but it was shipped from the UK. It came with a US charger and a UK charger converter thing. I'm living in Germany where we have a different charging system, so I don't need these. Maybe I should have read the description of the camera better or something like that, but now I don't have a charger for my camera, but I can use the same that I'm using for my phone. That just saves me a piece of technology. Another thing I kept for years now and I'm not really using it is a mouse. I have a laptop, but I thought for the longest time that it's so much more practical to just use a mouse with my laptop. And I have a lot of people around me telling me you should definitely use a mouse when you cut because it's so uncomfortable cutting with your touchpad. But I think it's okay. It doesn't really bother me. So I think let's dive in here. I think I'm gonna declutter my mouse. Yeah, let's see what's in here. Oh, another thing. I have a USB stick and I used to use these a lot when I had to do presentations in school or in university, but over the past few years there were fewer and fewer events where I needed a USB stick. Now this is a very small thing, so it only fits like a PowerPoint presentation on it or something like that. And my courses are over. I just write my bachelor's degree now, so I don't think I need it. And if I ever need to transport data, most likely it's more than what fits on here, and then I can just take one of my external hard drives. So it has to go. Another thing I found, the pen to my drawing tablet is another thing I don't really need if I don't keep the drawing tablet. And the cord for the drawing tablet. Yes, that leaves me with the things I actually use. I am from Switzerland, and Switzerland is not in the EU, so they have a different system for charging. So I need this bulky thing to put my European plug in here, so I need that, even though it takes up a lot of space. I have lens and body cap for my camera and a thing like for my lens, but I don't really use it because it's just so small and not really useful. But for camera things, I think I just keep them because usually reselling a body or a lens really makes sense. Even though I'm planning on keeping these things for a long time, it's really unfortunate if I would declutter these few like things that belong to the camera or to the lens, and I want to sell it because these are really like important parts to it, so I'm not gonna declutter them. I do, of course, always declutter the manual, I declutter the box, and I declutter all these other things that you really don't need for a camera. So I'm never keeping empty boxes just in case I'm gonna sell the thing again, but I'm keeping the things that you actually need to use the thing, or that a lot of people like to use when they like use a camera. Yes, and now I have one accessory thing for my camera. This is a lens pen. This is just for cleaning the lens so it doesn't get dirty, or if it's dirty, to clean it, to not like scratch it or like destroy it in any other way. I think this is really helpful if you're outside, and so this is the one thing I'm keeping for maintenance of my camera. I have this one like charger thing, and then I just have a bunch of cables and my headphones. But luckily everything I own, except for my computer, now come with USB-C, so it makes it very easy. I can just use the same cord for everything, even though I do keep one cord for everything, just in case I need everything at the same time, which has actually happened today, because I transferred some footage between the hard drives, so I needed to plug in all 3 hard drives into my computer, 3 cables there, and then there was just a charging cable for this camera. So I am keeping 4 cables for all 4 devices that have like USB-C charging cables. Also, I keep the one for my phone because it's a different one. So I do have like 4 of these similar ones, and then I have the thinner one for my phone. So this is the phone charger, and these are the hard drive and camera charger, and these are my headphones. Now these are really, I think these are Apple headphones maybe, but just the really cheap ones, but the normal like in-ear headphones don't fit my ears, so it's painful and they fall out. So I just use these because they are super easy to get secondhand somewhere. I mean, usually I get them new, but somebody gets a new device and then they don't need the headphones that come with it, and they can give it to me. I have a charger for my computer. This is like a bulky thing, I have to say that, but it's just because I have a quite powerful computer which needs to be charged properly with like a lot of energy, I mean by that. So the main devices I own. I think the technology part of my belongings is definitely the most expensive one. So I can tell you which devices it is. I have one Western Digital hard drive and 2 Lacy's, which Lacy is a very expensive brand, but it's like a very good one usually, so people like to use it and I'm absolutely okay with it. And it's like, it's a better finish. It's actually like metal and not just plastic like this one. And I do have 3 external hard drives just because it is important to me to have my footage secured and backed up. I think it's an important part of being video maker, photographer, even if it's only a hobby, which mostly it is a hobby for me right now. But I've been taking photos for 15 years now, and most of it, like every picture that is in digital form, is on these hard drives. And so it is important to me to keep them, and it is worth it, in my opinion, to have these hard drives. I do also back them up in a cloud. I use the same as my boyfriend does, so I'm just using like his cloud to store my things as well. And I do have 3. I would ideally only have 2, but I had these 2 hard drives. They both have 1 terabyte, and I bought them in 2018 because I thought, yeah, they will be enough for another 5 years. And then in 2019, I decided to start a YouTube channel, which ended up filling up my hard drives very quickly. So now I got another 4 terabyte hard drive, which means everything I own is on here, and also on these 2 split it up. I have on one everything until 2019, and on the other is 2020 and the coming years maybe, we will see. And then I will have to get new hard drives, but I could have just gotten another 4 terabyte hard drive, but I thought it's more sustainable and these are better quality, and they are only 2 years old, so I kept these. When these are full, I'm getting another 4 terabyte, or maybe by then an 8 terabyte hard drive, we will see. But that's just what I use right now. On my laptop, I have just the things I'm currently working on. It's a Dell XPS 15-inch laptop. It was quite expensive, but it was just really important to me that it got the work done, that it's just a good laptop to work with, because the laptop I had before was 8 years old, and sometimes I had to wait for like 30 minutes until Photoshop was opening, and that was just too much. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I needed to have a good working laptop. Now, of course, a desktop computer could be a bit more powerful, but I do not want to have a desktop computer. A laptop is fine, but that's why it was quite expensive, because I wanted to have a really good one. For the phone, I think it's a good phone, but it's a sustainable phone, so that is what makes this phone a bit expensive. It's a Shift phone. That's a company from Germany, and they really try to make sure to make it as sustainable as possible. And you can also exchange different parts of this phone easily by yourself, which makes it even more sustainable, because you do not have to buy a new phone if one part breaks. For the camera, I own the Fuji X-T4, which is a quite new camera, and I would have been totally okay with getting an older model, but I really wanted to have this flip out screen because it's just so convenient, and I didn't have it on my old camera. Plus, I really wanted to have a camera that is good for taking pictures as well as for taking videos. And I am super happy for now with that camera. I've only had it for a week, and we will see how I like it in the future. But I'm super happy with it. But again, it was a bit on a more expensive side. But that is just what works for me, I think. And I think it's also worth it to pay some money if you get the thing that you need, if you get something that works for you, if you get something that is just, that does not make you spend more time and energy and stress and things like that. For the microphone, I think it's called Rode Video Mic or something like that. It's just the smallest, most inexpensive version. So that's the only part of my technology that's not like expensive, but I think it works for me. It's small, it's good to be like to take it somewhere, and I've bought that secondhand as well. If you want to know more about media consumption and how I keep the files and apps on my phone or things like that, I'll link you my digital minimalist playlist. And please let me know what you want to know from me in that category, and I will make another video about it. For example, how I use my camera, or what I keep on my laptop, or how I like back up my data, or how I keep my email inbox, or things like that. Please let me know. Now I'm going to show you everything I own in this category once again, decluttered, and what I want to keep, or what I'm sure that I'm actually using. Now, I'm not the most minimalist when it comes to that category. just because I do enjoy taking pictures and filming these videos, and that does like make me own a few more things than you could if you would have like the bare necessities for surviving. I mean, you don't need any of these things. Now, what's really important to me is why I own these pieces of technology. I do not own them for the sake of owning them. I mean, they are super expensive and it really has to be worth owning them. For me, I love taking pictures. I love making these videos. I do work on my computer and I need them to process the footage and pictures I take, so they are necessary for doing these things. And even though I have decluttered my hobbies quite a bit, which I made a video about that I will link you up here, but I'm very passionate about photography and videography, and therefore these things are really worth having for me. I think it's always very important to ask yourself what you need for what you are doing. And for example, for me, that was the longest time I thought I need a full frame camera, but I decided to downsize my sensor to APS-C, and with that smaller sensor, a lot of problems come that you wouldn't have with a bigger one. But smaller sensor cameras are cheaper, they are smaller, they are lighter, and that is what I am going for, not for the cheap thing, but lighter, smaller, more versatile. And so I decided to downgrade my sensor to a APS-C sensor just because there was no full frame sensor camera that had the things to offer that I wanted to have in a camera. So I decided for myself, since I'm not professionally taking photos, but because it's just a hobby, because for YouTube an APS-C sensor really is enough. I mean, I can take 4K videos with this camera, but I'm not, because it's too much data. It's just filling up my hard drives way too fast if I would do that. So this camera is absolutely enough for me, even though a part of me wants to have an even better one, even more expensive one, but then other aspects suffer. So generally, I try to have good products that really support me in my life, that do what I need them to do. But at the same time, I want them to be pretty like versatile, small, light, and good to carry around, because I like taking my laptop where I go. I like taking my camera. I mean, if I don't take my camera, I won't end up making pictures. And so I want the pieces to work well, but also be really practical in their size and weight. And that usually comes with a higher price tag that I am willing to pay, just because I am done stressing and being exhausted because of products that do not work the way they are supposed to, or that are just too heavy, too old, too slow. So that's worth for me, and that is why I chose to have these products. So I don't think that there is one minimalist way of doing it, that being a minimalist, you are only allowed to have 5 pieces of technology or anything like that. I just think with everything else, and with this category as well, it really depends on what is important to you and your life. So I hope you like this insight into my life and into my technology life especially, and let me know how you handle it, what you need, what your lifestyle is like when it comes to technology. And thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, I'll link you a video and a playlist, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!